Hello, welcome back to the part two of connecting a Windows form to a database. So in this final part, what we're going to do is as we select a recipe inside the recipe list box, we'd like for the various labels here to show the value of the recipe that is selected from the list box. All right, so first let's just a recap on how the program looks like when you run it. All right, okay, so this is how the program looks like. So when you click the list all recipes, uh, the names, and this is, I believe, is the energy will appear. All right. Now the problem is when you select any of these entry, what you are getting is a full string. That means, for example, here is Roja space dash space 50 or me space Goring space dash space 100. All right, but for the purpose of looking for the data again, we need to just get just the name part. So for example, in this case, we just want the me Goring part, or if you select this one, we just want the Karimi part, but not the rest, not the space hyphen space 100. All right, so how do we do that? So we have to do a bit of a string manipulation in order to access, in order to just get the front part, just the name part. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so first you double click onto the recipe list box so that you get to the code. So this is where, so this is the handler for the recipe list box. All right, so I'm just going to put some pseudocode as to what I'm going to do. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get the selected text, right? Remember, it's a list box, so when somebody clicks on it, there is a selected text that you need to have access to. And then I need to get to the recipe name part of the selected string. Okay, remember the selected string actually has the energy. For example, it has like me Goreng dash 200, for example. So we don't want this part. We just want the name part as highlighted here. All right. So how do we do that? Well, what we can do is we can search for this thing. You can search for a space dash space, but searching it from the back. That means you're searching this way. You're searching from the right uh, to the left. All right. So how do we do that? There's a function that we can do that. So first, let me just write down the pseudocode for this. So search for the space dash space in the substring inside the selected text. All right. And then once I have that, then I get the substring of the selected text from position 0, that means the leftmost position, to where the above was found. That means the space hyphen space, yeah, the space hyphen space that you see here. All right, okay. So once we have that, then what we have is just the recipe name part. So the next thing we need to do is to obviously create a parameterized SQL statement because we want to avoid an SQL injection attack. All right, so we will form an SQL statement for that. Then we set up the parameter to just accept the recipe name part for the name of the table. Yeah, and then the rest is just, you know, the usual things that we do in order to get our data into our app. So we attach it to an SQL data adapter. We fill the adapter with results from the SQL statement that we were going to create earlier. And then if there's no data, then you put out an error message. If there is data, then we update the list of labels that you saw on the form. So let's do it. Let's do this part. So first, you have to get the selected text. All right. So one way is just simply by doing this. Yeah, div selected text and string equals to recipe list box dot selected item. All right. Next, we need to find out the position of the hyphen, the space dash space. So this would do it. So basically, I'm creating a variable called position found. This would be an integer. All right. And selected text is selected text is basically this thing here, which is just the text that was selected in the list box. And then I call a function called last index of, and then I put a string, the substring, if you like, that I'm looking for. And because this is last index of, it will search from the right. If I want to search from the left, I just say index of. All right. So this will give me the position of this substring, space dash space inside the selected recipe name. All right. So once I have that, then I can, of course, get to the actual recipe name. So here what I'm doing is I do a selected text dot substring. So what substring does, it just gets a part of the bigger string, if you like. And the first parameter is to start from where. So I'm going to start from 0, which means I'm starting from the very first position on the left, comma, the position found. This is, remember, is from here. It will be the location of where this substring is, where the space hyphen space is. All right. So then once I get that substring, then recipe name will just be the mee goreng part, or the curry mee part, without the space dash space and then the energy number. All right. So next is we create an SQL command that has parameterized bits in it. So here it is. So the parameterized bit is here, where name equals to @n. So we have a select star from recipe where name is equal to @n. Select star means we are selecting all the fields from the table recipe, right? With the condition that name has to be equal to whatever we found here, recipe name. So we're gonna add that, if you like, this variable here. I'm going to substitute inside there by using a parameter processing statements. All right. So we set up the parameter. First of all, we clear any parameters that may exist before, and then we say, SQL command dot parameters dot add with value, and this n here refers to this n. All right. So this n refers to this n. So in fact, it refers to the whole @n part. And then what this statement does is it gets the content of this variable, which we got from here, and replaces the SQL command wherever there's an @n. So wherever there's an @n, it will replace with the content, and it will treat it as a string, so that even if you type some SQL command, it will not. It will treat the whole thing as a string. So therefore avoiding the SQL injection attack. All right. So next, what we do is, as per before, we just attach the adapter, and then we fill the adapter with that record. All right. So next we fill it with a record. All right. And of course, we get to the data table, object. So by doing like this, so we are filling up the adapter into the data set, and then from the data set, and then we name this data set, and then we just get that same item again. And now, therefore, our data, it should be just one row. Yeah, it should be just one row. Will sit inside DT. So next we need to check whether if there is any data. Sorry, let me go back up. So let's see if there's any data. So we just use if dt.rows is not equal to 1, right? So I'm going to put this if down here. All right. Else we update the various labels. All right. So if there's nothing inside, that means we failed to look for it. We're just going to put up a message box. Yeah, I'm going to put a message box here. So here all I'm saying is fail to locate the recipe with name, whatever the recipe name was. And then I put an exclamation mark, and then I said no data as the title of my message box. And then finally, if I do find data from the table, then I just simply fill up the labels that I have using, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 labels here. So for each one I say dt.rows bracket 0 close bracket and then bracket and then the name of the field. Now dt.rows bracket 0 means we are getting the first record found. Yeah, because remember arrays in VB starts from 0 just like in C++. Alright, so dt.rows bracket 0 means getting the first record found. And then the other bracket at the back means we just want the value of this field. So for example, here's an ID field, or here's a category field, or here's a cooking time field. So once I get all these results, I then just update the labels here. Alright, so let's see how it looks like when you run. Okay, so this is my form. So I click list all recipes. Now if I click, let's say nasi lemak here, then this side should all be updated. Here we go. There you go. So that's the ID, that's the name, that's the category, energy, and cooking time. So if I click others, it will update accordingly. All right, of course, if it's a real assignment or an exam, you should put labels here on the left side to indicate what exactly is 5, what exactly is this, what exactly is 100, and so on. All right, but for the purpose of the demonstration, hopefully you understand with just a basic few SQL commands. Of course, you need to use adapters and data set, and then eventually data table to eventually get to the various records for your SQL statement. So if I go up here, so this has been my SQL statement. Yeah, this part here. All right.